Well, Mistress Me and Sleeping Beauty over here is going to try to bomb out this report for you. Well, she done woke up on me. Anyway, for this programming code error, I'm going to choose this Morris Worm program. It was a program developed by a Cornell University student for what he said was supposed to be a harmless experiment. It wound up spreading widely and crashing thousands of computers in 1988 because of a coding error. It was the first widespread worm attack on the fledgling internet. The graduation student that done this was Robert Tappan Morris. He was convicted for criminal hacking offense and fined $10,000. Morris got a lawyer in this lawsuit and claimed that his trial or experiment that went out of hand due to the coding error helped, improve a bunch of society's computers and the security for them. But the cost for cleaning up all of that went up as high as $10 million. And it was And Morris, who initially co-founded the startup incubator Y Combinator, is now a professor at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. But a disk with the worm source code is now housed at the University of Boston. Now, I didn't find a lot about this from where I pulled this article, but from what it sounds like to me, this Morrison fella, he was trying to experiment, and through, I guess, a miscoding, it released that worm, and it was widespread, crashing thousands of computers. And in 1988, computers weren't really that big, and as far as the internet and all that, that one simple coding error probably just messed up everything. So, uh, as far as how it done it, and I guess with ethnics, I guess this Joker was using the ethnic code that does his own personal gain. He got out there wanting to try code, and he messed up the code through some kind of whatever experiment he was doing at the time. And within that experiment, by messing up the coding, he released that worm. A very dangerous worm, I would suspect, since the source code for it's still at the University of Boston, and they ain't really letting it go to people. At least he even got up to be a professor at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology through it. So I guess in a way he kind of might have won out by releasing that worm. And through releasing it, his lawyer battled the fact that he was going to increase security through the internet. So I reckon with a $10 million cost to clean up everything he did, it'll force security to kind of get higher and protect against that worm. So through that coding error, even though it was ethnically imposed towards himself and against himself, as for personal gain or just to satisfy him, maybe to see if he could code it out, maybe just boredom. I really wouldn't know what would be running through his mind at the time, but if it caused widespread crashing and mess through the internet, like they said, and it was a worm attack, like I said, the internet was just starting and getting up at the time in 1988. So that major coding error probably messed things up for a bunch of people, and to ethnically back it upon himself just to do it, I guess, because he could. In this instance, it ended up benefiting. It caused everybody to upgrade their security. It caused people to stop and reflect on how computers are today. Well, not today, but back then in 1988, and why it got through and messed up the systems and the networks and just imposed upon everybody all the stress and harmfulness. I mean, 10 million. No, dog, I was wrong. That says as high as 100 million. Man, I messed up. But $100 million to clean up one simple worm that spread it throughout all the internet because of a code in there. I mean, shoot. But at least the old Joker come back and got to teach at the Massachusetts Institute of University. And if anybody want to look back on it and find out his blunder or whatever, the disc with the code's housed in the University of Boston. So I guess if you want to take this as a prime example of how coding messed up, how one simple coding error reflected back and just screwed up the world and the internet in 1988, which I was just born in 1988. I ain't sure what month this was. It might have been right before I was born. But in the year 1988, I didn't know nothing about computers because I was just being born or maybe thought of or whatever at the time. But, I mean, one simple coding error through just a simple experiment that this dude wanted to take upon himself through boredom or whatever means and released a worm through that coding error. Mass on the internet when it was a fledgling, when the internet was just being up and off the ground. So it was a massive coding error. It didn't do what it was intended to, or maybe it did do exactly what it was intended to. Who knows? But in the end, he got fined $10,000. It costed $100 million to kind of clean it up. The code is now housed at University of Boston, and he got kicked back as a professor. So I can't remember exactly what ethnic thing it is that imposes the self-righteousness factor, where you're just doing something because you need to be right with it or just for self-gratification. I can't remember what the word was it for, but that's exactly what he did. He got bored, coded it out, messed up the coding, or maybe it was intentional, who knows, but released out and screwed up the internet for everybody, costing $100 million to clean it up. But he still got to become a professor. But that is the one I choose to do, is the Morris Worm program. And, well, Sleeping Beauty over there woke up, so I'm going to sign off from this.